In this Java design pattern video, we're going to be going over the delegation pattern. So the delegation pattern is an object-oriented design pattern that achieves code reuse through delegation rather than inheritance. So as an example here, we're using inheritance for this first example in this class diagram. We see that a person class, and a doctor, engineer, and teacher, three different occupations, inherit from a person. So in this type of environment, the person class would have a perform role function as an example, and then doctor, engineer, and teacher would override that method and give their own functionalities. But this can be an issue. Let's say this is a university, a healthcare and engineering university, where perhaps a doctor is also a teacher, and an engineer can also be a teacher. So here we have an issue that we're going to exponentially come up with a lot more classes, and this is not very good for code reuse. So let's say we added a agricultural school to this university, and we had a botanist or something like that, and then that role and the teacher would come up with a second class. So two additional classes for one role, and that's not very good for code reuse. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the delegation design pattern here, where essentially a person is going to can have multiple roles without adding more classes. So as you can see, this is a class diagram for that. But let's get started in taking a look at the detailed description of the code. So first, let's take a look at our doctor class. So as we can see here, doctor, real simple for this example. It's just he or she is just performing a role. In this case, I just used a print line statement to say that they're treating patients. Next is a teacher. Same idea. A perform role method, and then they are teaching students. And then an engineer is designing systems, for example. So looking at the person class here, we see that we are defining a name and a list of roles. I put a dynamically memory here so they can have multiple roles. The constructor is just passing in the name, and then you can add a role using the add role method. And then the perform roles is a little different than you would expect, because we are trying to see what we have to go through to see if each make sure each role is fulfilled. Obviously, this could be better implemented if there's a lot more classes, but for this example, it does well enough. So the instance of keyword checks to see if the role type at runtime. So let's say this person's first role is a teacher, so we go down to teacher, and then they perform the role. And then the second role is, let's say, a doctor, and then they perform that role, and then you break from the loop. So going into a demonstration here, we are defining a person named John. So this can be defined as a new person, passing in the name John. And then we're going to assign multiple roles to John. So first we're going to add the doctor role to John, and then we're going to be adding the teacher role to John. At that point, John is going to perform all of his roles, let's say in a normal workday. So let's take a look at how this is going to run. So as we can see here, John performs his roles, and then first he treats his patients, because that's the first role that we added to him. And then he's going to teach students. That's the second role. So I hope this video was informative. Please let me know if you have any other questions. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a great day.